to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Heard you want your country back. Shut the f*** up. Heard you want your country back. You can't have that.
Punk band Bob Vylan, I'm guessing it's a play on Bob Dylan, have sparked uproar after their chants of death to the IDF and free Palestine. Oh, sorry, I was getting bored of reading those words.
Yeah, it's interesting you yawned there, Alex, when you were reading out those words, because the funny thing is that these people seem to think they're countercultural. They seem to think that doing this is edgy. They seem to think it's cool, when really what they're chanting is precisely what the establishment wants them to chant. Yeah. It's precisely what everyone in that audience wants them to chant. It is the least courageous thing that those people could possibly do. So you're right, it is completely and totally conformist.
You know, it is also part of the only acceptable racism to the Western world. True. You can't be racist in any other way apart from if it's Jewish people. And, you know, the fact that we have a woman in prison, a mother, for 31 months because she wrote some words on Twitter, and yet you've got this man here standing, talking to hundreds of thousands of people, calling death to people, is shocking.
Benjamin, you were just out in Israel not that long ago.
Yeah.
What do you make of seeing that at Glastonbury?
Well, I mean, what's really depressing about seeing it at a music festival is that about 10 days I went to the site of the Nova Music Festival, which is where Hamas murdered about 370 innocent people, most of them Israeli, some of them from all around the world. And I was there with a survivor of that. And she described the utter horror of these young, liberal, music-loving people at a festival. And so to know that Hamas targeted people just like the ones at Glastonbury, then to see those people at Glastonbury chant something as ugly as death to the IDF, the Israeli Defence Force, which is basically death to those Jewish people, I think it's deeply depressing. I tell you what would be countercultural would be to say free Israel from the terrorists all trying to murder it.
Oh, hear. Trey, many people will say that this is, you know, the freedom of artists. They've been doing this sort of stuff for years. What you've been in the music industry yourself.
Yeah,
what do you make of that?
I would agree. I mean, if you look, there's been years of protests against things like the Vietnam War. You know, you had BLM protests. You got years where musicians use their voice in order to raise protests. I think this probably goes over the mark. Obviously, anything that's chanting death to anything is probably wrong. But I think I actually do like the tradition of musicians actually taking a stance on political issues. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the issue is when there's any incitement to any death or any violence. That's where I'll take it.